Big Story Breakdown. In tonight's Big Story Breakdown, the deadly Texas floods. Another batch of Oklahoma first responders now assisting in the rescue and recovery efforts.
Fox 25's Rob Hagan joins us now with how the crews are working out there to save lives. Rob, what can you tell us?
Adam, Wendy, thousands of rescue crews across the nation have mobilized to Texas, including crews across Oklahoma and the United Cajun Navy. Their goal is to curb the death rate that sadly continues to rise. Mother Nature's fury once again slamming the Texas Hill Country, often called Flash Flood Valley, for good reason. Days of relentless rain transformed rivers into violent torrents, ripping out trees, washing away roads, and leaving communities underwater. In Kerr County, floodwaters tore apart this road, leaving behind twisted pavement and debris. The devastation comes just 1 year after catastrophic flooding claimed more than 130 lives across Texas.
It's nothing that we haven't seen before, so we know what to expect.
On Tuesday, Governor Stitt and the Oklahoma Department of Emergency Management deployed 25 members of Oklahoma Task Force 1 to Texas. By Thursday, another Oklahoma team rolled south, made up of Oklahoma City firefighters, an Oklahoma City police officer, and members of the Yukon Fire Department. At the same time, Guyman's specialized swiftwater search and rescue team also answered the call.
This is a highly trained group of people, very experienced. We've been to out-of-state deployments on this very type of thing before, and feel very confident in the work we'll be expected to do down there.
The crews are joining a growing interstate response in the heart of Texas Hill Country, now the epicenter of the flooding disaster.
They couldn't get boats to somebody who was submerged in a vehicle in a tree. And so I did hear later, after about an hour and a half, they were able to get that man to safety.
Amy Metz, chief meteorologist with the United Cajun Navy, says the power of this flood has been staggering.
Picked up a barge, one that was there to do some cleanup from last year's floods, got lifted up and thrown down the dam, probably another half mile up to a mile away, crashing into a bridge that is now gone.
At least 2 people are dead. More than 200 have been rescued. Several rounds of slow-moving thunderstorms during the past 2 days have flooded 6 Texas counties.
Since Monday, the Hill Country, I know, has seen at least 20 inches of rain. That could very well have gone up to 30 in some places. And with that river rise, within 1 hour, the gauges did show that it shot up 25 feet.
Now, Metz says the United Cajun Navy will soon help with ferry boat deliveries and clear trees with chainsaws on up to 30 miles of interstate that's been slammed by landslides. That is, once the flooding stops. Live at the Oklahoma City Fire Department, Rob Hagan, Fox 25 News.
Governor Kevin Stitt asking for prayers tonight for everyone impacted by these devastating floods. In a statement, he says these 24 highly trained first responders represent the very best of our state. They embody the Oklahoma standard through their courage, professionalism, and willingness to serve others.
We're also learning at least 2 people are now confirmed dead in connection to the flooding. Governor Greg Abbott says a man was swept away in an RV and a woman was swept away while driving. Abbott says Texas Hill Country could see more potentially heavy damage if the rain continues there.
Today and tomorrow, we face what was categorized as life-threatening catastrophic floods. I want to give you a comparison. The 4th of July floods last year had rainfall of 20.29 inches. The expected rainfall during this rainstorm is expected to be more than 30 inches. More rain than what occurred during the flood last year.
Meteorologists warning of a large and deadly flood wave surging down the Guadalupe and Pedernales rivers.
A flash flood emergency is still underway right now across south central Texas.
The Hill Country bearing the brunt of the storm, with some of the same communities devastated by last year's deadly floods now underwater again. Jonathan Martinez reporting from our sister station in Texas. Officials are warning water levels just keep rising.
Disaster declarations in dangerous floodwaters surging across south central Texas. A lot of devastation hitting the very same areas as last summer's Hill Country flooding tragedy. A flash flood emergency happening along the Guadalupe River north of San Antonio. As of Thursday afternoon, Hill Country flooding claiming at least one life. Last July, more than 130 people were killed, including 25 campers and 2 counselors at Camp Mystic. Right now, unrelenting floodwaters inundating the small Hill Country communities of Kerrville, Ingram, and Hunt. The sights and sounds not unfamiliar.
The building has shifted, the tiles have fallen down, no electricity, water lines are broken.
Cars swept away and caught in the brush, some trees uprooted, others underwater, and a relentless current keeps pushing through. The strength of the water unforgiving, taking out an entire bridge along the river.
What we're seeing here is levels of water that are even higher, in my opinion, than the river levels we saw July 4th, 2025.
Local officials saying more alerts are making a difference between life and death.
So this time was different in that, with the help of the state and the Upper Guadalupe River Authority, we had more warning.
Up the river, newly installed warning sirens wailing several times as rising water continues to threaten the area. Down the road, in the small town of Comfort, evacuations, water rescues in a swollen river, a similar scene for the Hill Country community.
The Hill Country is known as Flash Flood Alley, and so floods are not a surprise to them. What were we expecting, a second flood 2 years in a row? No, but they knew how to handle themselves and knew how to take steps to take care of their own safety and property.
Officials warning even when the rain stops, water will keep surging as runoff moves through creeks and rivers. Sirens also sending out urgent warnings to residents across the area. And in counties out west of San Antonio, emergency crews rescuing people around the clock, some trapped on top of cars as roadways are completely flooded. The powerful current of the Nueces River pushing south, overwhelming rivers, creeks, and the rural communities across the region. Shelters are open in heavily impacted areas as state and local officials urge Texans to evacuate if necessary. Reporting in San Antonio, I'm Jonathan Martinez.
And the rain showers still keep continuing in the Texas Hill Country. This is the past 12 hours with our radar loop. And as you can see, while most of the rain showers that we had from last night into this morning faded away by the early afternoon, we then continue to see more scattered showers and storms in the area. And so all these polygons that we have out there are still flash flood warnings, and including the flashing ones there, the flash flood emergencies, which are still out there even as of this time. This is the radar estimated amounts, and we put it over the past 5 days just to catch everything. But really, the brunt of this has actually fallen over the past about 3 days. And you can see that we have these amounts coming in almost 30 inches, especially by the Uvalde area. We've also had by Kerrville coming in at almost 18 inches worth of rain. And again, these are radar estimated amounts. It's not going to be able to pick up on everything, but we do know that there's been essentially about 10 to 25, maybe even close to 30 inches worth of rain that has fallen in this same area once again. Now, we've been watching this view. Unfortunately, now the lighting is a little bit too dark, but this is actually in Kerrville. The river, Guadalupe River, remains very high in this area. It was higher earlier on this morning, but it continues to kind of fluctuate up and down as more of these rain showers pass on through the region and then empty out into the river. But like you've been hearing, though, this is, again, Flash Flood Alley, especially within this section of Texas. And you can see that Flash Flood Alley does kind of extend into more of Oklahoma. We'll get to that here in a second. But by far, though, it's hard to tell with this graphic, but you have that yellow coloring showing up there, again, in the Texas Hill Country. It is the most deadly area for flash flooding anywhere in the entire country. And this is the region here, generally just off to the west of San Antonio, west of Austin, and it's generally south of San Angelo, this area here known as the Texas Hill Country. It's pretty special geographically compared to the rest of Texas. It has what's called karst topography, so that means that it has limestone rock that's exposed, and it's got steep valleys that are within this area too with rocky soil. All that prevents the rainwater from soaking in, and with the exposed rock, it means that it then just quickly just rushes off. And limestone is very slippery. If you've ever hiked on it, that does mean that the water itself moves fast down these valleys. The rivers and streams are normally very slow and shallow in normal situations, so when it does flood, they just go right over the banks. Unlike other rivers where they may have well-defined banks and it may just swell, but it stays within the banks, that just doesn't happen in this part of the country. Very thin layer of topsoil with most most vegetation being more of the succulents. So again, it can't soak up a lot of the rain as it falls. Development, so we've got people building. It's usually done in the valleys. That was what we had at Camp Mystic. All those cabins were in the valleys because you just really can't build on the tops of these little mountains and hills because of how rocky the foundation would be. And all these factors contribute to this being the #1 area for flooding within the country. Again, we have, that was the topography and the geography. Climatology, we've got all the humid air coming on in from the Gulf of Mexico, going up the elevation, which is actually a few hundred feet up. It's a big area. So we have what's called orographic lifting, where that is able to then wring out the condensation. We also have the cooler air that comes down from the north, and that also does the same thing. So basically, it's just right within the perfect spot to be able to get a lot of flooding and flash flooding potential, especially because of the fact that, again, not only is it a good spot for the weather, but then you have the topography to add to that too. Now in Oklahoma, could we see something like that? Our soils are not perfect, as we all know, but they are a lot better compared to the Texas Hill Country. We're also farther away from the Gulf of Mexico as well, so we don't have as much moisture to work with, and we also don't usually get tropical systems going over us as well. We have a flatter terrain for the most part that helps to control the flow at least a little bit better. We would not be talking about a massive wall of water. It would be just more of your standard flooding. But the one area that we do have to watch out for would be the Arbuckles into more of southern Oklahoma. The Arbuckles are the closest match to the Texas Hill topography with that exposed rock and the thin layer of topsoil. The good thing, though, is that it's a very small area, so our impacts would not be as widespread. But we also have a lot of campgrounds and areas of recreation in this area, too, which, again, makes it probably our most dangerous area in terms of flooding within the state of Oklahoma. But thankfully, though, a lot of those conditions that you see in Texas just can't happen here because of where Oklahoma is. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Jack. And tonight we're also taking a look at the continuing legal battle against Camp Mystic after last July's deadly floods. The camp's attorneys moving 5 state court lawsuits against them to the federal court. After the floods, families filed multiple lawsuits against the camp's owners and operators seeking a public trial. And attorneys representing the camp previously filed a motion to move the lawsuits to arbitration instead. Now questions remain on why attorneys for Camp Mystic are looking for a new venue for its legal battles. A law professor says there could be a lot of reasons why.
It could be because they see advantage in being in the federal system because it's faster sometimes, or it's perceived that way. Perhaps for jury pool reasons, they want a different pool. We don't really know.
In 5 separate filings this week, attorneys for the camp moved 5 lawsuits with 22 different plaintiffs out of a Travis County District Court to the U.S. District Court. Just 3 weeks ago, Camp Mystic filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, a move that put a temporary stay on any claims against them. Now we could see the cases centralized in federal court.
And I think it's important for your viewers to understand that the parents of the young girls who perished, they will have an opportunity to respond and be heard if they wish on the issue of the removal.
Both parties are awaiting a ruling on the matter. Plaintiffs are able to request the federal court demand the case back to state court.
And that was your big story breakdown tonight. You can stay up to date with the Texas flooding and Oklahoma's assistance on OKCFox.com.
Plus, you watch all our previous big story breakdowns on our YouTube page. Just scan the QR code on your screen or search OKC Fox.